What do you know about your opponents this weekend?
Not much yet. We have actually played 2 of them this season. We played Lake Forest when we were in Bloomington at the end of March, I believe, maybe early April, and then Redlands we actually played our very first game of this season. So we are a much different team now than we were then, and I'm sure they are too. So we'll do what we can to scout them. WashU, we did not get to play this year. They were scheduled and that got canceled because of weather. But we have played them several times in the past few years, so they are a familiar opponent for us. But we'll use the time we have between now and Thursday game time to do some scouting and figure out as much as we can just to help us, and our players as much as possible.
Take us through the journey of this season. Obviously, us on the outside looking in, we look at results only, and there's a lot more to a season than that. But how confident were you that this journey was going to lead you to a good place for the 4th year in a row?
It's been a little bit of a roller coaster of a season, and we've lost, several really great and impactful senior classes in a row. So, with a small senior class and really, we knew a lot of the people that were going to get playing time didn't have very much experience in those roles. So we really weren't sure, what that was going to turn into results-wise on the field. So, after that first week, I think we were all kind of scratching our heads a little bit and figuring out what we needed to do to move forward. If you would have asked me after that first week when we started 1-7 and 5 of those losses were run rule losses. So if you would have asked me at that point if I thought we would be here, I probably would have laughed. But it really has been a different journey for us than in years past. This feels a little bit more earned through grit almost, through a journey. It really does feel more like a journey this year because of all of the highs and lows, through the adversity, through the building of relationships that had to happen, the multiple conversations and team meetings where we really are talking about our journey and how this year might look different than past years, and that's going to be okay. And so it really has been a lot of highs and lows, but I think that is what is making this bid feel more special.
Was there any turning point in the season for you guys?
I think, really just the first time we were back on the field after that first week, it just felt significantly better. And that on the field looked like a split for us with St. Ben's, but our conversation after that game was, this team already is much different than the team that played that first week. So normally we don't have much time off between that spring break trip and the next time we play. This time we had a couple of weeks, and I think that really worked out in our favor, allowed us to work through some things both mentally and physically. But after that doubleheader, even though it was a split, we felt good about the growth we had made in those couple of weeks. And really we didn't have much time to think after that. I think we played 8 to 10 games that week and, kind of went on a little bit of a run. And that gave us the confidence I think we needed, going into conference season.
And looking, I know personally, I got to see maybe 10, 12 of your games. There were just some games that maybe weren't A+ games for you, but you guys found a way to win. How'd you do that?
Man, I think our leaders this year are really special. We've got 3 seniors, a junior, and a couple sophomores in our leadership group. And our senior class specifically, we've got, Sydney Fellows, who she's played a lot of games in her career, but the other 2 have really had spot time and have had to fight for some time behind some really good players. But none of them take themselves very seriously. I think they've got like a good, healthy perspective on what is actually important. I think they keep the focus on the team and the relationships, the experience, and I think that has really helped us through it. Helped us stay, I think, a little bit more even and level throughout games, even when we were down. And I think physically, we were finding ways to win. It was also different people that were coming through in big situations, and then I think like eventually that's giving more people confidence. So it really did start to feel like a full team and not just like, oh, you know, we need this person up to be able to come through, or we need, you know, this person to step up. It ended up being like a more, like we're winning because of the team that we are.
In your preseason address, you talked about how pitching was kind of an unknown for you, and then today Hannah Llewellyn was named Conference Pitcher of the Year. So what have you seen from her this season in her growth?
Yeah, I mean, I think like every child who's like growing up playing sports should, you know, like understand her journey. I remember when we were recruiting her, like she had come to so many camps, and that's how she got on our radar, and she was looking at Wartburg. And I remember, as I was actually in this room, her mom asking us if we thought that she had a chance to pitch at the college level, because that's what she really wanted to do, and she was looking for somewhere that she could pitch. And we knew that she could have a role on a pitching staff, because we've had pitchers similar to her in the past who have been able to come into some games, fill some innings, throw some you know, hitters off for a time. I don't know that anybody could have anticipated how effective she would be in the role that she's had this year. She works so hard. Again, she has she knows her strengths in the circle. She knows what she's capable of. She also understands like her own limitations. And she doesn't take herself very seriously. And I think for anybody who watches her, you can just see the like joy that she has, and also like the energy that she spreads to really the whole field around her. So we're super proud of her and like how she's stepped into that role that we've really needed her to fill. And yeah, I'm very happy for her that she was able to earn that award.
So the whole team wasn't here when the selection show came out?
No, well, so everything's a little bit different now. This is the first year with NPI, and that final numbers, like those are run as soon as the last games are played on Sunday. So, you know, that list came out and we knew all the AQs at that point, and we could figure out the at-large bids. I'm also on the NCAA committee, so I think I have a little bit better understanding of that than some others. So we actually knew Sunday night. So we met as a team so I could tell, and that was our plan regardless. Like, we're gonna meet so that you can hear it from me rather than hearing it on social media or from somebody else. So we told the team on Sunday night that we were in. The selection show on Monday was at 10 a.m. and we are in May term mode, and most of them do have class at 10 a.m. So some of them were here, some of them their professor let them sneak out for, you know, the 25 minutes. But no, it was, I mean, maybe 10 of them here. So yeah, a little bit different. Yeah.
How many computer screens did you have going on Sunday?
Oh my. Yeah, it was a lot. That's the other, I mean, we knew exactly what needed to happen and who we needed to win and who we needed to lose, and I think every single coach was locked in on all the games. I had the schedule laid out. I had everything pulled up. Yeah, I made a joke, like the extra screen in my office. I'm like, this is what this is for, right? So I can watch all these softball games. So yeah, I had a lot going on Sunday. It was a stressful day.
But 4 years in a row for the program. What does that say about where you're at overall in the big picture?
Yeah, I think, you know, Taylor was trying to figure it out the other day. I think she came up with only 16 teams have gone 4 years in a row. So, I mean, it's impressive, and I had to tell the team the other day, just as like a, you know, almost like a reality check, like I know that this might seem common, but let's make sure that we are not taking this opportunity for granted, because it's not common. It's a special experience, and you never know, you know, what next year is going to bring. So, I mean, the fact that we've been able to do this for 4 years, and that the seniors don't know anything different, I think it does say a lot about our program and the growth that we've made. Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. Yeah.
How do you feel the postseason experience has helped prepare the team for the NCAA Regionals?
The conference tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's that feeling of like this could be our last game. This could be our last day together. And with our current team, we don't have a lot of people who are playing every day who have like had to have those feelings on the field. So I do think that was good experience, at least for like being able to work through the emotions that come with that. And that's why I'm excited for this group to have another, you know, opportunity to be in the NCAA tournament. I think, you know, like we really wanted this opportunity for our seniors. I think it's really a special experience, and like a great way for your season to end is somewhere in the NCAA tournament. But I'm also excited for our younger players who really haven't had the opportunity to play in that atmosphere to get that experience, so that moving forward, when they get it again, it'll, you know, feel a little bit more familiar.
With 4 conference teams getting in, does that add any confidence to the team, knowing that you've gone toe-to-toe with some of the best around the country already this season?
I hope so. I mean, I think they've got a good awareness of the strength of schedule we've played. We've referred back to that several times, even just throughout the season. We have already been in most situations that we can find ourselves in. You know, we've won extra inning games, we've lost extra inning games. We won a game where we were down by 8 runs and, you know, had to come back and walk it off. We have had several walk-off wins. We've played in a lot of high-pressure moments. So I think they have confidence because of that. Like, we've already played some of the best teams, and we've played in a lot of high-pressure situations.
With you being sent to WashU, like you said, you play there pretty much every year in their tournament. Does that kind of take out one level of nerves, just a familiar field, a familiar area, rather than, you know, busing 7-8 hours and you got to start from scratch on the field?
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, like you said, we have played there most years. So we've had reps on that field. You know, we've been in that area. It's also like an all-turf field, which I think is a little bit easier to adjust to than, we don't know how, you know, but a couple years ago we went and it's like a dirt field, but like a rock-hard field is much different than like a well-maintained or like a field with a lot of dirt or whatever. Like, I don't know, to me most turf is just turf. So, and we have had some experience on turf this year as well. So I do hope the familiarity of like that field will bring them a little bit more ease.
Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.